3.5 million rand. I want you to hold that number in your head. 580 million rand. Hold that one too. Because today, the man at the center of South Africa's most explosive police corruption inquiry walked into a commission of inquiry in Pretoria and flipped the script completely. LT Gen Shadrack Sibiya, the suspended Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection, did not come to explain himself. He came to point fingers. And the finger is pointing directly at the MK party. Like this video right now and subscribe to this channel. We have been following the Madlanga Commission since day one, and we are not going to stop digging. This story is not done. Let me give you the full picture before we get into today's testimony. Shadrack Sibiya joined the South African Police Service in June 1988, more than 3 decades in the force. He rose to become head of the Hawks in Gauteng. In 2015, he was fired following a disciplinary hearing linked to what became known as the Zimbabwe rendition case. But in 2020, the labor court found the dismissal procedurally and substantially unfair. Later, he was reinstated and returned to SAPS. By July 2023, he was appointed Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection, one of the most powerful policing positions in the country. Then the wheels came off. In July 2025, KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Liti Gen Nalanla Mkhwanazi held a media briefing. He alleged that the criminal justice system in Gauteng had been captured by drug cartels and questionable businessmen. He named names. He made accusations. Sibiya was at the center of it. By September 2025, Sibiya was suspended. And today, at the commission, he read out every single charge against him, word for word.
In terms of which the National Commissioner suspended me, so the challenges leveled against me can be summarized as follows. Charge 1. Serious misconduct in terms of Regulation 5, subsection 3J of the SAPS discipline regulation, in that I, on or about 17 January 2025, at or near South African Police Service head office, Pretoria, failed to comply with a lawful order or written instruction without just or reasonable cost, by issuing written instructions to the Divisional Commissioner, Crime Intelligence, concerning the deactivation, disbandment of the PKTT, despite having been instructed to leave the matter with the National Commissioner, and without instruction, approval, or consent of the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service. Charge 2. Serious misconduct in terms of Regulation 5, subsection 3BI of the SAPS discipline regulation.
5 charges tied to what he did after the 34 December 2024 directive to disband the Political Killings Task Team and how those cases were handled afterward. He says he was following orders from above. The National Commissioner says he was not. And now he is telling his side before Judge Madlanga. Let's follow the money, because the numbers in this case tell a very specific story. R3.5 million. That is the figure in a letter written in June 2022 by Masuli Mlandu, who was then the executive director in the City of Johannesburg's city manager's office. The letter went to then Police Minister Beki Cele. In it, Mlandu alleged Sibiya had received 3.5 million rand in unlawful gratification during his time as head of the city's Group Forensic and Investigation Services between 2016 and 2022. R580 million, as alleged in that 2022 letter. That is the irregular expenditure figure cited in the same document. Procurement irregularities that Mlandu claimed were connected to Sibiya's period at the City of Johannesburg. R360 million. That is the SAPS tender awarded in June 2024 to Medicare 24 Tshwane District, a company belonging to businessman Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. It was later flagged as irregular expenditure and subsequently terminated. And then there is a figure that came up at the commission from anonymous witnesses, a figure Sibiya flatly denies. According to protected witness testimony, during a recorded interaction investigators had with Matlala, he allegedly claimed that after every payment from the SAPS tender, a cut was delivered to Sibiya. Sometimes 1 million rand a month, allegedly dropped at Sibiya's house, or collected by Sergeant Efin Kosi from Sibiya's office in bags. Sibiya was asked about Madlanga in Parliament. He said he knew him only as a service provider. Today, before the Madlanga Commission, Sibiya said all of this is a political hit job. Here is what Sibiya told the Commission today. He said the allegations against him did not emerge organically. They were, according to him, the result of a coordinated political campaign driven by the MK party, the party led by former President Jacob Zuma, one of South Africa's biggest opposition parties. His argument rests on a specific chain of events. According to Sibiya's testimony, Masuli Mlandu, the same Mlandu who wrote the 2022 letter, later admitted before Parliament that he personally knew MK Party MP Colleen Makubele, who was also a former City of Johannesburg speaker. Sibiya alleges that through that connection, Mlandu was able to brief Ultigen Mkhwanazi directly, and that the allegations in that letter became the ammunition Mkhwanazi used in his explosive July 2025 media briefing. In other words, according to Sibiya, and this is his claim before the Commission, not a finding, the case against him was assembled by people with direct political links to the MK party, and then handed to Mkhwanazi to go public with. Then came Parliament. Sibiya told the Commission that when he appeared before the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee in October 2025, MK party members questioned him more aggressively than any other witness. He described it as humiliating. He said MK members made references during other witnesses' testimony using phrases like, "You're speaking like Sibiya," to mock him. And then came the street. The same MK statement is being used by a brigadier to apply for a search warrant when my house was raided, Sibiya told the Commission. The same MK is the one that also came and marched against me at head office. As I'm sitting in the office, you hear people marching in the street. And then came TikTok. You get TikTok messages that say, "You touch Mkhwanazi, you touch us. You'll see another July address you've never had." That last line is a reference to the July 2021 unrest in South Africa, one of the most violent periods in the country's post-apartheid history. Sibiya said he was being tackled politically. He said the pressure was immense. But here is what the Commission asked him next, and his answer is one of the most revealing moments of the entire hearing.
Is your position that you were not surprised?
I was not surprised, and I don't agree with the National Commissioner.
You were surprised that he was surprised.
I don't want to be technically wrong, maybe, and be confused, Chair. But what I want to say is that...
So maybe let me ask more directly. You expected that the minister in December will disband the PKTT?
I didn't expect that he will disband in December, or it will happen. What I knew, it was a subject of discussion.
Yes. So you say it was a discussion that the PKTT will be disbanded, and you say this meeting of November discussed that, the disbandment of the PKTT.
It formed part of those discussions, that meeting of the 1st of November.
Okay.
It was those consultative meetings.
But you didn't expect that, you were not expecting that it would be disbanded on the 31st of December.
Nobody knew that it
I'm asking about you, General.
My apology, Chair. My apology. Sometimes
no, it's okay. It's all right. I'm asking about you in particular.
I was not surprised when it happened.
On the 31st of December?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Mr.
To ask.
He was not surprised. The disbandment was coming. He knew it. And the National Commissioner says he was blindsided. Both versions can't be true at the same time. Sibiya did not stop at the MK party. He took direct aim at Mkhwanazi's social media presence. And when he made this argument before the Commission, Judge Madlanga pushed back. Here is the core of Sibiya's claim. Sibiya argued that senior police leaders shouldn't be public-facing on social media, but when pressed, he conceded he didn't know if Mkhwanazi even runs his own accounts. His point was simple. They are law enforcement officers, not public figures. He said if you look at all the other provincial commissioners across the country, none of them have significant social media followings, but Mkhwanazi does. You've got this one provincial commissioner who is on social media every day, Sibiya told the commission. You have political parties fighting to have him, and he's supported by the MK party. Everything that is happening about General Mkhwanazi on a daily basis is on social media. Sibiya suggested, without producing evidence, that the accounts posting in support of Mkhwanazi were being coordinated, possibly paid, and that Mkhwanazi either controlled or benefited from them. Judge Madlanga was not convinced. He told Sibiya directly, "I'm not sure that it's fair to make the point that you appear to be trying to make." That is a significant moment. The man running the commission questioned the fairness of Sibiya's argument in real time. Sibiya acknowledged the point, but he did not walk it back. Now here is what you need to understand. Sibiya is not the only person who has testified at this commission. Before he sat down today, the commission had already heard from protected witnesses whose identities are being withheld for their own safety. Witness C, testifying in October 2025, told the commission about a recorded conversation police had with Matlala on December 6, 2024, during a search and seizure operation at Matlala's home. According to Witness C, Matlala stated in that recording that after every payment from the SAPS tender, a portion went to Sibiya. The payments were allegedly delivered in bags, cash in hand, sometimes through a sergeant who worked in Sibiya's office. Matlala, according to the same witness, described Sibiya as a pit bull. He said crossing Sibiya would mean the end of his life. Witness F, testifying more recently, told the commission that Sibiya had pressured Matlala to amend a court affidavit, specifically to change language that would have shown the two men had a close relationship. That witness said he personally facilitated communication between Sibiya and Matlala and helped conceal details of their relationship when a journalist inquired in December 2024. Sibiya testified before Parliament that he knew Matlala only as a service provider. These testimonies directly contradict that. Sibiya says these are fabrications. He says the recording was manipulated. He told the commission he has never dealt with drug cartels. "I don't know if I look like someone who's involved in drugs, but I've never been involved in drugs. If there's any voice, any role I've played, it's okay. I will be charged," he said, inviting investigators to prosecute him if they have the evidence. And in today's testimony, he made his defense in very direct terms.
Paragraph 73, it is accordingly evident from this correspondence that the National Commissioner was fully aware of the disbandment of the PKTT and had instructed me to execute this disbandment in line with Minister Mkunu's directive. It is also noteworthy to add that the National Commissioner did not raise any objection on concerns regarding the disbandment directive. I emphasize that any role that I played in the disbandment of the PKTT was undertaken solely in the course and scope of instructions issued to me by the National Commissioner. As I report directly to him, I was entitled to presume that such instructions were lawfully issued and duly authorized, particularly as I knew that the National Commissioner himself had received directive from the Minister Mkunu. The alternative would have been to defy a direct order from my superior, which would itself have constituted unlawful conduct and a disciplinary offense.
Two versions, one commission, and the commissioners have heard both. There is one more element of Sibiya's testimony today that deserves attention. He said this is not the first time. In 2015, he was suspended as head of the Gauteng Hawks. At the time, he was labeled as a member of a gang. He was disciplined. He was fired. And then, in 2020, the labor court found the dismissal procedurally and substantially unfair. Later, he was reinstated and returned to SAPS. According to Sibiya, the same pattern is happening now. He told the commission, "I was labeled a member of the gang in the 2016 case, and in these allegations, I am said to be a member of the Big Five. I want to remind the commissioners that I went through this." Now, Part of the pattern Sibiya points to involves what happened when he was at the city of Johannesburg. The procurement of surveillance equipment became a flashpoint. His opponents alleged it was spyware. He brought in the state security agency. Here's what the SSA found.
In light of the above inspection and analysis of the instrument and equipment which the chief is in possession of as per the invoice received from suppliers, the SSA can confirm the following. The instrument in question are technical surveillance countermeasures equipment. TSCM equipment is utilized for identification of eavesdropping devices and cannot be repurposed to perform any other offensive or collection functions. It is not intelligence gathering equipment as alleged.
On the same equipment that was used against him in 2022, the same SSA report, read again today before a different commission. He also pointed out that in 2022, he won a case against then Johannesburg Mayor Thapelo Ahmad, who had made public statements implying Sibiya's department was procuring spyware to spy on city councillors. The court sided with Sibiya. His argument is that every time he gets close to something politically sensitive, someone mobilizes to remove him. Whether that argument holds up at this commission is a different matter entirely. There is a specific moment in today's testimony that will matter when this commission publishes its findings. Sibiya was asked about who prepared the implementation plan to shut down the political killings task team. He pointed to documents, he pointed to emails, and he made a very clear statement about where those instructions came from.
Fifth line from the top. I advised him to consult with.
I advised him to consult with Major General Rabi, Head of Strategic Management, in drafting an amended plan for closing down the task team. I called Major General Rabi to assist him with the phase-out plan. That's what I needed.
Yes.
To say, even the National Commissioner, he does admit that he advised me to communicate with General Rabi. And that, so which means that plan that I signed, we were working together with the National Commissioner. We were in this thing together that I signed and sent.
If that is true, it changes everything about how we read the charges against him, because the charges say he acted without the approval or consent of the National Commissioner. But Sibiya says the National Commissioner was in the room, in the discussion, and in the document. The Commission will have to decide who to believe. Here is what this story is really about. It is not just about one suspended general. It is about what happens when political parties, police factions, anonymous witnesses, sworn testimony, and TikTok campaigns all collide inside a formal commission of inquiry, and nobody agrees on what is true. The Madlanga Commission was set up to answer a specific question. Has organized crime infiltrated South Africa's criminal justice system? What we are watching in real time is that the answer to that question has become a weapon in a political fight. Sibiya says the MK party used the allegations to destroy him. Witnesses say the allegations came from Matlala, who says he was the victim of extortion by multiple police officials. Mkwanazi says the system was captured and he had a duty to speak out. And the commission is sitting in the middle of it all, trying to separate what is evidence from what is score settling. The last word today belongs to Sibiya himself, speaking about the man at the top of SAPS.
The National Commissioner did not really have serious or any objection. He just was actually agreeing, in agreement, that, look, this is a task team. It was not meant to be a permanent structure. It can be done.
3.5 million rand, 580 million rand, 360 million rand. Those numbers were in the room today. The question is whether the people responsible for them will ever stand in front of a judge. Tell me in the comments, Do you believe Sibiya's claim that this is a political hit job? Or do you think the money trail leads somewhere he does not want to go? And if you have been following this commission since the beginning, drop a comment. Because this story is not over. We are not going to stop digging.